So even the most placid of bees can get this grumpy when they are hopelessly queenless. I had 4 bees inside my veil then. This is the best queen I have now. Found Laura and she's unmarked, so that's why I can't find her very easily. So as you may see, or you may not see, it's quite dark now. It's about 9:30. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use this. Hello, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. Seems like the spring flow has actually stopped. It's a lot earlier than I was expecting, randomly, because it was so full last week, and then now there's just barely any bees flying about whatsoever. That to me means that the flow has dropped off. So there's still lots of flowers about, but I think the bulk of the forage around here has dropped off. I've definitely seen the all-seed rape has gone to seed now, so it's all gone green from a lovely yellow. So that has definitely dropped off, and I think that was what these bees were mainly collecting. Another thing that could be causing the lack of bee traffic is that it's relatively cold. It's about 12 degrees C at the moment, so that's cool. And it has been raining, and the sky is black. So it is threatening to rain again. Queen rearing is my main aim of the game at the moment. So what I want to do is produce some lovely, juicy queens and produce nukes for them to go in so they can go off and get mated, etc. when they emerge. That is a big, messy process. So I understand why people like to do splits. It's nice and easy. Take half the bees away and let them produce a queen. Nice and easy. When you're doing grafting or queen rearing, it just adds that extra level of faff to it, which is understandable why people don't want to do it or are a bit intimidated by it. Generally what you need to do is stick to the principle of each week you have a different job to do. So this week I'm going to go into my queen rearer and I'm going to knock down any queen cells that are there, making them hopelessly queenless. So that will put a lot of stress on them because they won't have any way to produce the new queen to keep the colony alive. So they'll think they are dying as a colony, which is a horrible thing to do to them, but that stress gets them in the mood to make all the queens in the world if you put some cells in. The next stage is that I'm going to try and do some grafting. So with grafting, what you do is you find a small larvae, the smallest one you can possibly find, maybe like a day or so old, which is like, it's no bigger than 1 millimetre or 2 millimetres. It's tiny, tiny, so you need to be like proper squinting when you're looking for it. You scoop that out very carefully, keeping it in the same orientation, and then put it in one of your plastic cells, which I'll show you in a bit. You have to keep it in the same orientation because larvae only have breathing holes on one side of their body. So if you were to flip them over by accident, you'll drown them in royal jelly, which is not a nice thing to do. But you have to be very careful with it. Any sort of grinding along the edges of the walls can damage the larvae and the bees won't make a queen out of it. So you have to scoop, you have to pull it away from the walls, slowly lift it up, find where you're going to put it, so one of the plastic cells, place it in very gently and then push it off. And you can do it relatively quickly once you've got the hang of it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am not the best at this. I'm not great. I make some really good queens from the queens that I've got here, really good queens, but I'm not very good at grafting. So out of like 20 that I graft, maybe like 10 will survive, unfortunately. But this is one of those things where it just takes practice, and the more you do it, the better you get. So usually my second round of queen rearing, I usually get 20 out of 20, but the first one, it's always dodgy after a full winter and stuff like that of not doing it. I'm going to try my best to show you how I do it, and then we'll get those queen grafts in the queen rearing colony. Other than that, I'm going to try and just go through all the hives and check that they're okay and they're not wanting to swarm. Next week, what I'm going to be doing is building nukes. So if I'm looking at these hives and I'm thinking, they're wanting to swarm or they need more space, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake them all down into an empty brood box on the bottom and put a queen excluder on. This helps me in 2 ways. 1, it means that they've got another box. 2, they've got a fresh brood box at the bottom, so this is where the queen's going to be stuck, so she's going to be in a place where there's loads of cells and she's going to be like, whoa, there's so much space here. And it keeps the larvae and stuff like that away from her. The benefit for me is that because I know where the queen is in the bottom box, I can take and use any of those frames, any of those bees in the rest of the boxes. So that is good for me. It means I can take brood, I can take food, and all sorts for when I'm building nukes. So that's A-okay, it's brilliant. But I'll only be doing that if I feel like I need to. If it's something where it's like a double box or something like that, I'm probably going to leave it, to be honest. What I want to be using is big ones. So I don't know if you can see the big one over there. It's very, very tall. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes high. I'll probably be using that for building nukes. So I'll be taking lots of frames out of that and lots of bees out of that one as well. Other than that, let's see what we find today. I don't really plan these videos, I just see what happens. So yeah, let's get cracking and see what goes on. So I'm just going to do a quick one in this one. I think these guys are okay. I gave them another box at the end of last inspection, and it was a manky one. Let's see what they're up to. Like, this has got some more nectar in it, so they are using this top box, that's good, but they're not filling the frames, that's good. That's fine, it means that they've actually slowed down a bit. Yeah, and they're not filling this box either, so that's fine. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seams. We've got 2 empty frames over here. So they've got a lot of space, that's fine. So when the nectar flow starts to dip, you don't really need to keep giving them space. Generally, as long as they've got maybe 4 or 5 frames and there's no real activity coming in and out, they'll generally just keep to that space, and that's fine. The queen will just keep producing brood and ticking over, and the bees will keep going out and foraging, but there won't be a lot of nectar, so they'll probably eat down the honey that you've got in there. If you're wanting to take spring honey, now is the time to do it. You want to take those boxes off as quick as you can, and the problem is that if the colony is big, you have to start feeding them during the May-June gap, where there's no real food for them out there foraging wise. So have a look. So we need to find 3 things: brood, food and space. I found lots of space, that's fine. As a stingy hive, these guys are quite calm and relaxed. Lots of lovely, lovely larvae on this one. And this might be a good example of what sort of larvae that we want to use for grafting. So I'll show you that now. So you can see that larvae there. It's really easy to see. C-shaped, lovely segmented and white. That there is unfortunately way, way, way too old. That is nearly capped and being turned into worker cells. You want to catch these larvae when they are at the very, very beginning of their birth, so when they've just been laid. So that possibly is a good example. Hang on. We'll use a torch to light it up a bit. So these are very, very big. These are much too big. See that one there, right in the centre? Even that one I'd say is too big. Here we go. So that there, tiny, tiny one there, the very bottom, I don't know if you can see that. That and that are perfect size. Usually it's right near where the eggs are. So see the eggs there? You move them ever so slightly to the side and you'll be able to see the larvae that we want to grab right next to it. So, but you have to be very particular, because if you grab any of these larvae that you can see very easily from a distance, chances are they will not be turned into queens, or they will not produce very good queens, because they've already gone down the path of worker too far. But now I've seen brood, so I can relax. I've seen eggs as well, so it means that the queen is definitely still present. Oh. There's a lovely frame of drone brood here. That would be fantastic for getting rid of some varroa. Unfortunately, I left my fork back in the car. So what I'm checking here is for queen cells. If you're really struggling to see if you can see any queen cells, hold it like that so the frame is completely flat to you like that. And you will see that there are some queen cups that stick out. So the only ones that will have holes facing you is a queen cell. So the rain has started, so I'm going to call it quits with this hive. I've seen that they've got food, seen that they've got brood, they've got loads and loads of space. I can't imagine them wanting to swarm. What I might do actually is I might just check one more frame and just see what they're like. But when it's raining like this, you don't really want to be messing with the bees too much. As long as you're happy and content, then that's fine, you can move on. Yeah, I've got a lovely worker brood in the centre here. Hang on, budge these out the way. Budge, 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 budge. If you ever want to get the bees to move, just sort of don't squish them, just put your hand over the top of them and sort of like give them little taps on the back, and they'll move out the way. Got some lovely worker brood there, we've got drone brood around the side, we've got some honey here as well. So I'm happy with these guys. I don't think they're making any queen cells, so I'm going to close them up. The less you do with bees, the better it is for the colony, because as you go through it, chances of you hurting the queen and knocking them back is just increased. So put it in, put the other boxes on, and then we're fine. As to what I said before as well about queens, using a particularly stingy queen doesn't necessarily mean that her offspring are going to be stingy as well. So don't be too worried about using an aggressive queen if you've only got aggressive queen. Whatever you produce through grafting will be better than anything that's from a split. even if it's a particularly subpar queen that you are producing these queens from. Right, so this is going to be my queen rearing colony right here. I found the queen, I took her out because they were wanting to swarm, but not particularly strong enough for my liking to want to swarm. So taking the queen out, they're completely queenless now. I'm going to knock down any queen cells, and that means that they will be hopelessly queenless, which may aggravate them a bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them. They will get very stressed and upset for about an hour or so until I bring the grafts back and put the grafts in here. So they're already at the top here. I think I put a fresh box on to give them some more space, but it seems like they've already come up here. Just have a quick look. I think this is a fresh box that I put on, so I'm not expecting much from this box. They're just cleaning it up. I gave them something to do, in essence. That's what they're doing. Keep themselves entertained. Oh, is that a frame? Yeah, hang on. I think I might have put a frame of larvae in the centre to bring them up. So we'll have to see. I did bring up a frame of larvae, and there's a queen cell right here, so it's a good job I checked. Got 2 queen cells here. Let's take them off. So I don't want to keep any of these queen cells. There's a queen cell there. There's a queen cell right there. So, you flipper. Ow. So I'm going to sort of do that then. So I'm going to knock these queen cells down, put it back, and then go to the next box. If I'm making a queen rearing colony, I need to be very careful that I'm not leaving any behind. So I've just seen a hidden one over here, so get rid of that as well. Make sure there's no more queen cells. Okay. So this is an awkward placing for me because there's a step down here. So I'm like half on, half off step. So it's a bit awkward for me. I need to choose a better place for this hive stand, I think. So look at you. That's honey, yeah. So the rest of this is just honey. So I put this frame of larvae in here just so the bees would come up and start using this box. So there's nothing else here. No more queen cells on this side. No more queen cells on this side. So I'm going to put it back. And we'll move this down there, out of the way. Ugh. Right. So I need to smoke these guys down, because the problem with making a queen rearing colony is that when they're queenless, bees can be quite grumpy. And that's exactly what they're doing now. They're getting very grumpy. Ugh. So I'm going to go to the bottom box and work my way up. It's always the best way of doing it. Ugh. The problem is the bottom box is full of the grumpiest ones. The flying bees. So these guys have to be... Ow. Thought I'd burnt myself then. No. Sting. Try and cover the wrist that's already been stung twice. Ouchie. Right, we'll smoke these guys down. Go away. Go away. Hi. So we have a queen cell here that's just a larvae, unfortunately. Poor thing. Right. Let's break this apart and have a look. These guys will only get more stressed because I'm making them hopelessly... Flipper. Might have to put some thicker gloves on. Yeah, I'm going to do that. 2 ticks. Ouch. So I much prefer to use surgical gloves because I can feel things a lot better. But in this situation, the bees are quite angry just because they are hopelessly queenless, or they will be hopelessly queenless. So in situations like that, it's good to get yourself some thicker gloves. Go for the rubber ones rather than leather ones, just because they can be washed and sterilised. And it's better that way. So now, hopefully, I will be 100% sting-proof. He says, hoping for the best. Right. Really no dexterity in these whatsoever, so I don't like it, but it's what I've got to do. If they're going to keep trying to sting me, I've got to do it. One got me just as I put the glove on. Right. There we go. Right. Sting proof, apart from the bees that have managed to get inside my cuffs. Ow. Okay, right. That's annoying. There we go. So we're looking for queen cells. Right, there's a hidden one right here. I'm worried that the thing won't show it. Hang on. I can't show it. Right, I'm going to have to do it this way instead. So because I can't use these gloves with my phone, I'm just going to have to show you here and hope for the best. Alright? So, can you see the queen cell there? Bring it a bit closer to you. It blends in so well compared to the rest, doesn't it? But you can just see it if I bring it close enough there. That needs to go. But that's what I mean by bees are so good at hiding queen cells, because you've got this one on this side as well. Oop, if the bees stop coming at you, there you are. Can you see it? There you are. Madness. Unfortunately, all need to go. So, stick it in, pull it out, whip it away. Any more queen cells? Really keep a good look. Any queen cells whatsoever, because they will hide these guys everywhere. Look at them all over my hand. They're very angry. So you may feel invincible when you're wearing sting-proof everything. So sting-proof gloves, sting-proof suit, everything like that. You may feel invincible, but what that does is it means that you can't feel where the bees are. So it means that the chance of you hurting them has just increased. So just be very, very careful when you're doing this. They may be angry at you, but you shouldn't be angry at them. They're just defending their home. It's not their fault. This is just a natural response. So don't get angry at them if they try and hurt you. I've got a poor bee stuck to me there because they tried to sting me. I'm going to try and save them. There you go, saved them. Good. Another positive about these rubber things is that if they sting them, you can usually try and wheedle them out. If they're still attached to the sting, you can get them out, so save them that way. Just be conscious of it. So fortunately though, I won't have to come down into this bottom box after today for a while, because they won't be able to produce any more queens after I've knocked these ones down. And I'm going to be putting the grafted queen cells in the top box. Cap cells, there's one queen cell right here. Here over here. Yep, no one else there. But yeah. So even the most placid of bees can get this grumpy when they are hopelessly queenless. Because you are coming in and effectively destroying the last chance that they've got for the colony to survive. So it's understandable that they get grumpy. Let's have a look. There's a drone brood. Another queen cell here. Go with you. Try your best not to hurt anyone, because these guys are going to be producing your new queens. And also keep an eye out for a frame that is full to the brim with pollen. That's what you're wanting for the bees. You want to stick those queen cells that you're going to be putting in, grafted ones, you want to be sticking them directly next to a frame full to the brim of pollen. You guys can probably only hear bees buzzing now. Because I'm finding it hard to see, because they're all in my veil. When doing anything like this, make sure you don't take your veil off anytime soon. And don't do it anywhere near the hive. So if you're doing a queen rearing colony like this, don't do it in like an allotment or anything like that, where the bees can fly around and sting people, because they will be pissed. So you want to do it in an apiary where it's well away from people, because they're going to be angry for a while now. They should calm down once I put the grafted queen cells in. You should see and not like feel an audible. Oh, he's gotten in. Well, I don't know how that happened. I had 4 bees inside my veil then. That was dodge. Right, back to it. What was I saying? Yeah, so you want to have a good frame of pollen right next to the queens. This is a pretty good frame of pollen, so I'm going to just shake this out here. It's not a huge amount of pollen here, but it is a good amount, just enough to produce enough for queens. So I'll stick them right there. Yeah, but they're going to be grumpy like this for a little bit, and then when you put in the queen cells that you've just grafted, there'll be like an audible like cessation of sound. They'll just go because it means that they've got something that they can produce queens from. I'll probably be able to come in next week and they'll be a lot better than this. So let's find you a nice empty frame to put in. Right, smoke these down, put the other box on top. But you can see, if you come and upset a beehive, how things can turn badly very quickly. Because I'm absolutely coated in these bees now. The alarm pheromone is going strong with these guys. You can smell it. It smells kind of like bananas. If you've never smelt it before, then you've never royally pissed off a colony like this. Have a look around. In there. In there. This is heavy. Some queen cells here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. Not looked at the other side yet. Get rid of them. And these two. Oh, there's like 4 more down here that were hidden. Wow. If you see cells and you don't know if they're queen cells or not, just destroy them. Don't mess around, because any one of these emerging before your other cells that you've just grafted will just kill all your hard work. So you won't end up with like 20 cells, you'll end up with 1 queen. That's it. It's very annoying doing all this prep, doing all this work, and then coming to a hive that you think's got 20 queens in, and they've not produced any queens because they've got 1 virgin queen hanging around somewhere that you can't find until she's mated. Always look at the bottom of the frames. It's always a prime spot for them to build. This is probably the hardest bit of the grafting process. It's making sure there's no queen cells hiding anywhere. Another one here. So you can see how many queen cells that these guys are producing. So when you put in 20 cells, you can see that actually that's not too much of a big deal for these guys. If they're producing so many right now, at least the ones that you produce are all going to be in a nice neat row, so it means that they don't have to run around everywhere trying to feed them. It's all in one place. It's food. I think we've hit the nectar now. I'm going to leave this frame out, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a space for the frame that I'm grafting with. So move these across, like so. So you want to keep the grafted frames in between brood. So if you've got some capped brood, you want to stick the grafted cells in between the capped brood. The capped brood will produce warmth. So I'm going to choose here, because on this side we've got capped brood, this side we've got capped brood. That has capped brood on one side and it's got lots of pollen on the other. So I'm going to put the pollen facing inwards, and I'm going to leave the gap here in the centre, and this is where I'm going to stick my grafts. I'm going to stick the box on top and get these guys closed off, and then hopefully they can calm down a little bit. They won't calm down a lot because they are still absolutely queenless. They're in a worse position than they were before I came, so they're going to be very upset. But I will be making it better for them any minute. They just need to try to relax for a little bit. I'll give them exactly what they need very soon. So the bees are up in this top box here. I wasn't expecting that. Don't think they're using it though. I'm going to have to put it down here so I can have a look in the frames. Yeah, so they're not using it yet. They're just drying it out because it was a bit damp, and they're drying it out and cleaning it up. So as you can see, cleaning it up there. That's fine. Wasn't expecting them to fill it up yet. Right, so if it's stuck to the bottom, twist it and lift. Okay, so yeah, they're in the boxes underneath that. So the second super down, they're in that one because it's got nectar in this middle frame. So they are using it. That's good. Let's have a look at these guys. So they have got 3 brood boxes. These guys are going to get broken down a lot when it comes to nuke building. I'm hoping to find the queen. If not, what I might have to do is I might have to shake them all down into another box at the bottom. In fact, I'm debating doing that right now just to save me time later on. So that's what I'm going to do. I've decided I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to take these boxes off, put them here, put the fresh box, which is there, in its place, and shake all these bees down into the bottom box. Any frames that I shake off, I'm going to move out the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake them all down into the bottom box. All the frames that I've taken out, I'm going to put over here, and I'm going to reconfigure these boxes, these 3 boxes here. So all the brood is in one place, as close to the new brood box as possible, because then it means that the bees won't want to make queen cells. As soon as you make a divide from where the queen can reach, the bees will go, oh, I can't smell the queen from here, I'm going to make a queen cell. So I'm going to try and keep the brood as close to the queen as possible. There's going to be a queen excluder on the bottom box, so the queen's stuck in that bottom box. It means that any bees that come up into the following hive, I know that they're not the queen, so I can just put them straight into new boxes. It saves so much time later on, so that's what I'm going to try and do now. So this is where the flying bees are, so they're going to be a bit annoyed. Smoke them down. Move this box on top of this here. And now we've got the empty frames here. So I'm going to change the orientation of this hive as well, just to make things a bit easier for me. It's easier for me to pull them out like that than it is like that. So if I pull them out like that, it's going to be much easier. So I've turned it into the warm way, where they go perpendicular to the entrance. Doesn't really make a difference, don't worry about it, okay? It just makes it easier for me to reach. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a couple of frames out, so I've got somewhere to shake all the bees. This will become very, very full of angry bees in a bit, but it will empty up all those frames in there. Right, so I've got a nice little pocket right here in the centre. This is where I'm going to be shaking all the bees from the boxes. That is way too high for me to deal with, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another floor or something here, so the queen, if she's in one of those frames, can't fall out, and then I'm going to put that box on top and then take the frames out that way. I'm going to move you so you can see everything a bit easier. Right, so I'll want to put this to the side over here. So I'm going to take the box off, put it on there, shake all the frames out in there, move the frames over here. So hopefully I'll just get that over and done with, and it means all the bees, every single one in all these boxes is going to be in this box. It means that the queen definitely has to be in this box. Then I'll put a queen excluder over the top, so the queen is now trapped in this box full of empty comb. So she's got comb to lay in, all the other bees will come in, they'll start cleaning this because this is where the queen's trapped, and then they'll start filtering through here. Alright, let's get going. Let's try and make this as quick as possible. This time is cracking on. If I do see the queen while I'm doing this, I can stop doing it. I can just relax because I'll have found her, so I don't need to do any of that. I just need to put her in the bottom box, and then the job's done, really. So I'm going to still look at the frames as I transfer them from one place to another. Oh, that was a rough one. And then shake. So you can see her, can't see her. Shake. Move that over here. Just keep doing it. Flipper. Might have to use the big gloves again, because these guys are very angry as well. Oh. Thing is that as the flying bees fly up, they'll fly out and then they'll fly back to their original home, and they'll be like, oh, no one's here. Ah, brood frame, perfect. Don't worry about them getting too cold right now. It's a relatively warm day, so should be fine for a little bit. And the rain stopped and the sun's come out. Perfect. So I'm going to move my smoker out of the way because I keep having to step over it and not staffed. That's an amazing frame of pollen. I'm going to save that actually and give that to the queen rearing colony. Although, hang on, that's full of eggs though, so I can't do that unfortunately. Once you've shaken, always have another look, just make sure there's no bees on it. Sometimes some are really good at hanging on. Can't see the old girl, let's shake them off. So this is similar to a Bailey comb change. So a Bailey comb change, you shake all the bees off into a fresh box full of foundation usually, rather than comb, and then you put a queen excluder on and you put the old comb, the old box on top. What that does is it allows the bees to emerge from the capped cells in the box above. It's another frame of pollen. That's a better frame pollen, and there's no brood on this. I'm going to keep this one for over here. Right, so this box is empty, so I'm going to tap it out. Next box. For Queenie. Ah, you flipper. One of them got me on the fingertip. Ow. Queenie. No. No, shaky. take away. There's not as much brood as I was expecting for the first box, so hopefully she's gone up to the second and third box. That's produced a lot of brood there. So all this, though this colony is full of bees, not a vast amount of brood in here. Strange. We're getting into the proper brood area now though, so that's good. Means more likely for queenies to be in here. Brush them off, make sure there's no bees left. I know they don't look like the queen, so it's good to make sure that there's no bees, just in case. There you go, another brood frame, perfect. Keep looking for that queen. So when you're building nukes, it's always good to have 1 or 2 frames, wall-to-wall cap brood like this, going in. 1 or 2 frames of that, or maybe like 3, 4 frames of half filled frames or brood. And that's because inevitably there's going to be flying bees on these frames when I take them out. So we want to make sure that there's enough young bees to bolster this nuke. This is full of eggs and nectar. My guess is that the queen was on there and I didn't see her. Lots of eggs on this one as well. A bee has just stung me in the bum. Ah! Oh, how on earth did it get into my pants? Honestly. Ah, found the queen. So the queen is the one with the blue dot right there, walking about. So I found her now. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to shove this down here. Now the queen has somewhere to lay straight off the bat. There's brood in there which should hold the bees together. And it means now, all these other frames and all these other boxes, I know the queen's not in there. So she is stuck in this box now. So I can relax, I can do whatever I want with the frames in these boxes, with the bees that are on these frames. I can shake them all out into nukes and all sorts like that. I don't have to worry because I know that the queen is now wedged in there firmly. Right, so that is panic over. So I'm going to fill that box up and put the queen excluder on and we can move on. Yeah, so now, you know, I know where the queen is. It does help having a very good mark for the queen, it really does. This is a pretty much empty frame, so I'm going to stick this in with the queen so she's got somewhere else to lay as well. While the other bees clean up the other frames. Right, so I'm going to smoke these guys down, put queen excluder on. There it is. So when you're doing this, you'll have a queen excluder that is concave and convex on one side. You're wanting to put it so the centre is pressing down in the middle of the box, like that, so it's concave up. Means when you put another box on top, such as this one, it presses the outside down and means that there's less space for the bees to get through. So now the queen is stuck in there, I can relax. Let's get some brood, fill this bottom box of brood, and I'll look through this box here for some brood as well, put that in there, and then I'll put all the rest elsewhere. Right, I need to find a couple more brood frames from this box. So we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 frames of brood. Some is full, some is not. So that'll probably make maybe 2 or 3 nukes out of that. I want to see how much brood is in here as well. So when I'm saying brood, I mean capped brood. I want to start putting the honey ones in this box here. Honey, honey. So I'm curious to see if this is all honey frames. No eggs or anything. Interesting. This is honey with a bit of drone. There's some worker brood in there. I'll keep to the side. If I can't see any better then, that'll have to do. More worker brood on this one. Yeah, so this is a worker brood one with some honey in it, so I'm going to use this. Right, so we've got a full box of brood there. Now I can just fill up the others as in what I want to put in there. I'm going to try and keep this one as a honey one only. So it means that I can just take this off and extract it, so it's a good honey box. So let's move this. This is honey, because I am running out of equipment now. I've got about 60, 70 brood boxes, and they're all getting full, which is mental. So let's fill that up with honey. Right, so that's now a honey box. So What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill all the other frames there, put that on top and put that on top of the honey box. So I'm going to fill this one up here with whatever's left, which is mostly drone brood, annoyingly. But that can just be the misc box. I'm not really worried about it. I'm disappointed that such a large colony doesn't have more brood. Usually, the oldest queen, which has recently died, unfortunately, she used to fill 2 or 3 brood boxes absolutely full to the brim with brood. So I find it a bit sad that that's not the case for these. Now I've just seen, that's a good frame of brood there. Oh, I can't be asked to take it out now. Never mind. Right, I'm going to close them up now. Build them back up. Sometimes you just need to give a colony a bit of a rejig. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to check this queen one more time. Couldn't find her last week. I couldn't see any eggs or anything like that. So I want to just give it a quick check. If I can't see any eggs or anything, then I'm going to shake her out in front of the other hive over there, because I think that the flying bees might have killed her off. So, what can we see? Can't see anything there. Just put you there for now. You can see some eggs, not many. What we're wanting to see is larvae. Again, we've seen some eggs over here. I'm seeing some eggs on the walls. Not many, just 1 or 2. So there are definitely eggs in here. But I'm not seeing any larvae. This could just be a laying worker colony. I'll have to see. Last frame. This is just nectar. Yeah, I think I'm just going to shake these guys out, sadly. That's a shame, but it's just the way it has to be. Right, so I'm at the quarantine apiary. This is where Hive Laura is the sole survivor of all the chronic bee paralysis virus. This is the best queen I have now. She's gone through all the hardships and she's come out the other end and she's just exploded and done amazing. So amazing, in fact, that when I came here last week, I found that she was trying to swarm. That wasn't great. I couldn't find her. I went through 3 boxes that she had and I couldn't find her. I did find eggs though, so she was definitely present. And I found a load of queen cells everywhere. So what I did was I created a small nuke over there out of one of the queen cells, just in case I had lost her. It was only a small nuke, 2 frames and a queen cell, that's fine. And then I broke up the main body of the hive. I found the 2 brood areas, I put 1 brood area here in its own little space, and I kept the other one where it was before with all the flying bees. I don't know if Flora has swarmed. I destroyed all the other swarm cells. I don't know if Flora's swarmed or not in the intervening time in the week that's been. I'm going to go through it, find out which one has got Laura in, and then I'm going to take some brood from Laura, because Laura is the one that I want to make grafts from to produce queens for this year, because she's doing incredible and she's always done incredible. She's the very first queen I got and her bloodline has always given me the best queens. The past few years I've tried different queens from different places to breed from, but every time the queen just isn't as good as Laura. So I'm going to go with her again. Right, so I need to find out which one's got her in. So what I'm looking for mainly is eggs. If I find one of the boxes has eggs in, that is where Laura is. All the other ones I need to go through, knock all but 1 queen cell down. But I'm running out of time, so I best get cracking. So this is one of the brood boxes that I took off. This had some brood in and quite a lot of bees, so I took it off, but the flying bees will have flown back home because it's only literally less than a metre away. Now, whether there's bees still in here or not, I don't know. Seems to be. There's some coming out the entrance there. So let's see what happens there. As I said, I'm looking for eggs. Oh, there's quite a lot of bees in here. That's surprising. I was expecting more bees to have left than that. That's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go slowly through, smoke them down, and try and find some eggs. If Laura's in here, that'd be great. It'd be much easier to find her in a smaller box than the big box. So these bees should predominantly be younger bees that won't be able to sting me properly. Now I've said that, I'm going to get stung. I just know it. This is honey. Big frame of honey, so let's shake it off. Plop this here for now. Oops. That's not good, is it? Might have to give this colony another box. It's filling up with nectar. So the flow doesn't seem to have stopped here, so that's good. This is full of nectar again. Now, I made sure that there was eggs in here. So, is that if the queen isn't here, there should be some queen cells. Can't see any eggs. So I can't see any eggs in this one yet. That's fine, it's just one frame. So that's a lovely frame of capped brood there. This is one of the reasons why I want Laura to be my new breeder queen, because she always makes the best looking brood. I'm not going to see any eggs in this frame just because it is so full of capped brood. If I don't see any queen cells though, then I might have to add this back to the other colony over there. We'll see. Or give it some brood. So we've got some queen cells here. So that means that Laura is more than likely not in this box. I'm having another look to see if there's any eggs. So there's 2 queen cells there, there's 1 there. Got some more at the end there. Oh, get rid of that one, that's horrible. Right, okay, so this colony has put out a few queen cells. So that to me says that there's no Laura in this hive, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock all but 1 queen cell down. I don't like these because they're right in the midst of brood. Might keep that one. Have a look at these. So these are on the end, so they're quite good, but they're looking quite elongated, which I don't like the look of. Elongated cells can be that the larvae has been damaged somehow. So I'm going to keep that one over here for now. That one there, I'm going to keep hold of that. Okay, let's put that down. So I'm just going to put a little white dot on the frame to tell me that it's this frame here. That's the queen cell on. Now I'm sure there'll be other queen cells, so I'm not putting a big dot. I'm not worried about it too much because I'm sure there'll be more. Again, make sure you check all the frames because it could just be that they're wanting to swarm still. Looks like it's mostly merged. That's a lovely frame of pollen with honey. Can't see any queen cells there. Can see 1 queen cell here and it looks dodgy. Yeah, I don't like the look of that. It's going away. So I think I'm going to go with the one that I found first. So I'll shake this off. See if there's any more. Now you don't want to leave 2 queen cells in a colony. Some people find it as good practice in doing that because it means if 1 queen cell fails, the other one will succeed. But it's more than likely going to create a cast swarm which will split the colony in 2. Unless it's a very small colony. If you are going to leave 2 queen cells behind, then you've got to be smart about it. If one is capped, then find one that isn't capped yet. That still is quite young compared to the other one. Just because the chances of them doing a cast swarm when there's a queen cell emerging and there's a queen cell that hasn't even been capped yet is slim. They'll just knock down the queen cell that's not been capped yet. You don't want to lose cast swarms because it'll just weaken the hive considerably. Right, so the queen is not in there. There is a queen cell on that frame there. I've got the dot. I'm going to make a bigger point of it. I'm going to close these guys up and I won't touch these now for a while because in essence what I've done is I've done a split. There you are. Close them up and that is now a split done very easily because of swarming. We'll go to the nuke. I'm pretty sure that doesn't have Laura in it. If it does, then I've made a terrible, terrible mistake because that's where I left the queen cell. And then we're going to have a look in that box over there. I might have to do another split. We'll have to see if they're still trying to swarm after a load of bees have been taken away. Right, this is the nuke that I took with one of the queen cells. I think the queen cell shouldn't have emerged by now. Just have a look at the entrance. The entrances are still open. So look, they still have bees in here. That's fine. Let me fly out. The queen cell is there. I've got a great big dot where it was. So I'm just going to smoke these guys down and we'll see how they're doing. So I'm not expecting to see any eggs in here, but I'm not going to say there's definitely no chance of it because I could not find Laura and I just shook some frames out. So Laura could well have been on those frames that I shook. Right, so these are the frames I put in here. Ugh, looks heavy. This was a food frame. Check, still foody. Still full of honey, wow. I'll move this to the side over here. What are you? Oh, so this should have the queen cell on it, and it still does, right there. You can see it there in the sunlight. So that's where the queen cell is. It's looking good, it's darkened, and they're starting to get a tip on the end, so that's good. I'm just going to check, see if there's any more queen cells anywhere, just to make sure. There's another queen cell inside there. Interesting. So they've made a queen here by eating away. So this is how they do it on the side here. So the queen cell right there. And what they do is they eat away at the comb here, clear a space where there is a larvae, and then they draw it downwards like that. So that's what they've done there. And that's actually quite a good looking cell. I'm going to go with that one just because it's the older of the two and it's going to emerge first. This one is in larval form, although it's virtually there. Okay, so I'll leave that to emerge. I'm not seeing the eggs yet. As I said, I wasn't expecting to. Well, I was hoping not to anyway. Yeah. No eggs that I can see. That's good. That's what we want to see. Right, so close these up. I won't open these for a few weeks now. That's 2 splits made from the same colony. Out of desperation. The reason why I've done so many splits on one colony in this case is because I want to keep Laura's genetics. If, say, I just left it so it was just one colony and then that queen did not come back and, say, Laura swarmed, that means I've lost Laura's genetics completely. So I've split it up because I want to keep her genetics. She's a really good queen. Really, really good queen. And she always makes really, really good queens. So I want to keep them here in this apiary and with me for as long as possible. So I'm going to do my grafting later on tonight because I've run out of time and I need to take my kid swimming. First of all, if you're going to do beekeeping, stay away from the entrance, otherwise you'll get bees all over your back. So just move to the side. I'm going to move this down here and I'm going to look for Laura now. I've broken it up quite a bit. I've taken out quite a few bees. Hopefully now I should be able to find her. Or hopefully now she'll still be in here and I'll still be able to find her. If she's swarmed, then I'm scuppered. Smoke them down. This is what I didn't have last week, was smoke. So I got stung. So there's eggs in the drone cells. Queen cup here. If you see 1 or 2 eggs, it does not mean that the queen is there. It could be an old egg that's not been gotten rid of by a worker. So make sure that when you see eggs, you see a lot of eggs. I want to see at least 1 frame. Yes, I brought my torch. Good, I remembered it this time. Haha! I'll have a quick look in the cells, although the battery in this is dying, something rotten. Yeah, so there are definite eggs in here. So Laura is still here. That's good. I may have to make another split with her, just knock her out of swarming, but right now she's still here. She's more than likely going to be in that top box, just because she likes to be as high as she can until she gets pushed down by the nectar flow. So I think we've got quite a good selection of larvae on this frame to take for grafts, so I might pay attention to that. And what I said before, when you're grafting, you want to use larvae that are very young. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake these off now that I've seen that I can't find her. Again, it doesn't really matter if I find her or not, as long as there's no queen cells, and that's what I want to check now. I want to make sure that I've knocked them out of wanting to swarm by taking away a good amount of the brood and bees. If they're still wanting to swarm, then I'll have to do a split with her. And because I can't find her, what I'll have to do again is take another box off and put it on another floor, knock down all queen cells. And then what I should do there is that I'm splitting the bees up even more, so it should be easier to find the queen that way. Any queen cells that we can see? I think that's drone brood. That's drone. That's drone. So I might have knocked her out of swarming, so that'd be good. I hope so. Do not want to lose this queen. She is too precious to me. You're too precious to me. Oh good, we've got some very young larvae on this frame. Surrounded by eggs as well, so that's good. So hopefully we'll get some good grafts off this one. Queen cup there. Empty, get in. Queen cup here. Empty, woo! Shake you off. Don't see any queen cells, loads of larvae on this one. Yeah, so this bottom box is pretty good for getting some good grafts. I'm not going to do 20 like I usually do, because it was messed up on the first load, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 10, and if that goes well, then I will do more. So I can see some queen cups in the bottom right corner there. I'm just doing a quick look for the queen. But this is the brood that I absolutely adore. This is what Laura makes best. Look at that. That's stunning, isn't it? Right? Both sides, absolutely stunning. Let's have it open you up. Nothing, good. That's what we want. These cells, nothing, amazing. No queen cells there, that's great. Okay. Oh, found her. Found Laura and she's unmarked, so that's why I can't find her very easily. So I'm just gonna hold her in, get a mark on her. And then I can go a bit loopy, shaking frames and making sure there's no queen cells anywhere. But I think she's calmed down now. She is an absolute beauty. My God, she's gorgeous. If you want to see what a good queen should look like, this is what she should look like. And there she is. That is Laura. She's absolutely gorgeous. You can't really see her because of the light, annoyingly. But she's absolutely beautiful. Hopefully her offspring will make really, really good queens again this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing what her grafts look like. Amazing. Really happy with Laura. Love her to bits. Best queen I've got. So I'm going to put her here for now. Should be safe. I'm just going to shake these frames off and look for queen cells. Because what we don't want is to lose her. So you are a drone. You're drone. Drone. Perfect. That is honey. And honey. Last one. Honey as well. Perfect. Right, close. Ow. Oh. One's got me on my ear. Ow. Well, that's a new one. Ow. Ouchie. Put it out of the way. Flying bees everywhere, especially when the flow has stopped. Nasty buggers. Ouch. I wonder if my ear will explode. That'd be fun. Smoke these guys down because they're getting grumpy again. I need to change my suit, I think. There's a hole in the veil or something. Yep, so I've knocked these guys out of swarming, I think. Good, I'm glad. Yeah, this is just an empty box that I put on for them to keep them entertained. So there you are. Right, so I'm going to release the queen, Laura. She's got a lovely blue dot now, so hopefully she'll be nice and easy to find. The bottom box has good enough larvae for me to do some grafting with tonight, so that's what I'm going to do. So Laura's gone. There she goes, right there. Right, I'm going to close these guys up because they're getting grumpy again. Oh. But there you are, knocked a swarm response out of them. And yeah, I'll come back for grafting tonight. Right, so it's 8:30 at night now. I don't know if you can tell because it's so bloody dark. Hang on. So yeah, outside looks pretty dang dark. So the bees won't be happy, which is not going to be a good thing for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Laura's hive, go to the bottom box, grab a couple of frames from there, close it up again, and hopefully I can do that quick enough without disturbing any of the bees or getting too many of them upset. I'm going to come back here, got a light rig set up. Well, I'm going to have a light rig set up if I can. And I'm going to do some grafting. Once I've managed to fill the cells inside the cups that I've got, I think I've only got 10, so I'm not doing a lot. I'm going to go back to the queen mating apiary and I'm going to put that frame of freshly grafted cells into the queen rearing hive. And then it's just a matter of seeing what happens. After a couple of days, I'll go into that hive and I'll check those cells. This is how you know whether they've been accepted or not. If the bees have started to produce wax around the plastic cell cups that you've used, that means that those larvae have been accepted by the bees. If they don't, then it's usually a failure. I tend to like to just do 10 for the first one, just to see if my skills are up to scratch, and then you can get sort of a mark out of 10 and how well you've done. It's a silly thing that I like to do, but it's something that helps me get my confidence up, especially when you're reaching the 9s out of 10 or the 10s out of 10. And then you can start doing it properly, because I think I need around 30 queens this year. So that's what I'm going to be aiming for. Right, I'm going to get this zipped up. I'm going to go and hopefully not get attacked by too many bees. Right, so I don't know if you can see this, but there's no bees flying around at the moment. It is dark. Bees don't like flying in the dark. In fact, they cannot fly in the dark, so they just can't do it. They can fly in a straight line, but they have no idea of where the hell they're flying or anything like that. So most of the response is just to fly up and just hope for the best. Then they'll latch onto something and then they'll just hold on for dear life or sting you. So when you're doing beekeeping at night time, If it's still slightly light, you will get some bees flying about and they will fly back. But this is around the time where everybody is inside the hive. So it's going to be absolutely jam-packed right now. If it's pitch black, then you want to find yourself a red torch, so a red light torch. Bees can't see red light. So what that means is that they cannot see anything that's going on. They can feel stuff that's going on, but they can't see anything, whereas we have the ability to see red light, and you feel like a superhuman because you can lift stuff up and look around and the bees are just like, there's something going on, no idea what it is. What's going on, everybody? You can see exactly what's going on. So it's pretty cool if you do some nighttime beekeeping with a red light. Highly recommend it. But since it's still quite light, I can do the job that I need to do. I need to grab 2 frames with hopeful larvae the right age so I can do some grafting. I only need 10 grafts, so may be able to get away with just 1 frame, but we'll see. If I can get away with 1 frame, I'll go do the graft and I'll come bring it back. But in between, I'm going to make sure that this is closed off. Right, get my hood up. Although it's not been much use to me today. My ear is very sore, as is my cheek. Right, so I'm expecting these bees to be very annoyed. So I've got my smoker. It was lit very strongly a minute ago. I can still see quite a few embers in there. See if I can get them to produce a bit more smoke. I want to be able to flood it with smoke just so I can push them down. I don't want any bees to get harmed today. Right, that'll have to do. Right, so I'm going to pump some smoke at the entrance. There's some bees here already, just trying to investigate what's going on because they can hear me. And they probably felt me take the strap off. Lift this lid. And there's bees milling about. This may get a bit fraught. I don't really want it to. So I'm just going to do a little tap. Bees will be less likely to fall off the box. So before, when I used to bang, they'd fall off quite easily. Now they're in nighttime mode, so they are going to be holding on for dear life with everything. So smoke them down. I don't want these guys flying about. They should be able to get back at this time now. But if it gets any darker, then they won't be able to make it back to their home. So it means that those bees that fly out will get lost and will probably die. So yeah. Oh. So this is where all the brood area is. If I remember rightly, we had some fresh brood around here and around here. So I'm going to try for this frame here. So I'm just going to smoke them. Come on everyone, get down. I don't want anyone lost. I'm not playing silly buggers today, guys. Right. And the queen was over here, so I don't really want to be venturing over there unless I really have to. I don't want to hurt the queen. She's precious. So instead, I'm going to go down here and hope that we can find some good frames of young brood here. Right, so cursory look, see if I can see the queen, which is virtually impossible at this time of night because it's dark. And I'm going to shake these bees off. I'm going to use my torch and hopefully we'll see some brood in here. If not, then we'll have to move on. No, this is nectar, so we're going to have to move forwards. The bees aren't going to like this, so I may get stung again. Speak of the devil. I'd very much like to find some brood ASAP. I don't want to be stung. Smoker is not smoking as well as I'd like it to. So that's why I'm getting battered right now. So I can see the frame that I want. I think it's this one here. So I'm going to keep smoking it and hopefully get the bees well away from it as best I can. Could really do with those very thick gloves right now. Again, it's because all the flying bees are back home now. No one's flying about foraging, so all the big, older, grumpy bees are back home right now. So I'm going to lift this up, shake them off as best I can. I'm going to go over here so they don't attack me. They'll attack me as badly. Right, where's my torch? Bingo! Got what we need. Yeah, perfect. So we've got what we needed. I'm going to close these guys up now. In fact, what I'm going to do is, so I don't have to go into that bottom box again, is I'm going to take a frame from this top box and put it in there so it's full. This is going to upset so many bees. Step back. The initial wave of bees. I haven't got a new suit either, so chances are that, yep, I can already find one bee in here already. So yeah, they're finding a way into my hood somehow, so I need to sort that out. I need to find that leak sometime soon. Oh, ow, flip. Ouchie. So, I've got stings that I've got in my wrist at the moment. This smoke is rubbish. I'm going to have to relight this. Right, because I don't want that brood to get chilled, because it is chilly now, I'm going to just bite the bullet, knock them down. I'm going to lift this up and place it on top. I'm going to try and be as careful as possible. But there's only so much you can do when you're getting stung. Come on, stop attacking me, guys. Come on, give me a break. I'm trying to build your box up. Come here. Right, I'm taking this to the car. Hopefully it'll calm down a bit and I'll light my smoker. Right. Let's see if this works. So these guys are going to be less inclined to listen to the smoke. But as long as I go around the edge, the chances of getting hurt is slim. I've already cleared this edge. This is just this edge and this edge. This is the front of the hive, so this is where the most bees are going to be hanging around. Right, I'm just going to have to deal with it. Hopefully not get stung. Just be very slow, very careful, methodical, and hopefully we won't kill anybody too much. Right, I'm going to put the lid back on to calm these guys down for now. I'm going to go do some grafting and I'll bring that frame back. You guys are naughty. Right, I'm inside my car and this is the light that I'm going to be using to graft. What I've done is I've set up my steering wheel as a way of holding the frame still, and this light gives me really good viewing of all the different cells. So I'm going to try and catch that with my phone, which is the... Unfortunately, this is different to my Volvo, so I've got to learn some new things, and I can't seem to get this to wedge anywhere. Like with the Volvo, I used to be able to tuck it in, it used to wedge itself in place, whereas there's nothing like that in here. So this is a learning thing for me, but we'll figure it out anyway. So it's very warm in here at the moment because I don't want this brood to be chilled. I want to be able to move it from these cells into this other thing here. Hang on, there you go, this thing here with these plastic cups in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move to my phone camera and we're going to try and find some good larvae, and we're going to go through scooping it up using one of these things. This is the Chinese grafting tool. There's loads of these on the market. This is cheap as old chips. You can usually get like 10 or 12 in one go for like £1. It's worth it because some of them are absolutely crap, some of them are really good. This is one that I used a year or so ago and it's really good, or it was. They can start to depreciate as well, so it can get a bit too rigid and cut larvae in half by accident. So we'll see how this one does. Right, so we're going to scan through these cells and try and find a larvae. So you can see the eggs there. The larvae will have some royal jelly around them. So we found some there. You can see that. So as you can see there, there's lots of larvae. So if we just zoom in very closely, you can see that they've got a lovely little C shape, and you can see the individual segments as well. Sorry, it's juddery. This is me trying to hold this still with one hand while trying to graft with the other hand. So I'm just going to try and find where it is. So there we go. So I'm having to graft without being able to actually see the thing because I'm doing it using my phone. So just so you know, you have two. So if I zoom out, this Chinese grafting tool, you've got a very thin piece of plastic on the end there, and then you've got a push thing here. And if you look, it pushes this little wedge, so it pushes it off. I find it best when you're going for the larvae to aim for the curve of the C. So if you look at that one, it's curving around there. So I'm going to give this a go. Won't be able to see anything because of my thumbs, because they're all rubbish. So go down the edge of the cell and try and scoop underneath it as best you can. There we go. Oh, nearly. This is very difficult Okay, so I've nudged that too much. If you damage him too much, the bees won't accept him. So now I've nudged him too much, I don't want to risk it. So another thing you can do is break open the cell a bit. You can try and do it that way. So you can see the C shape is like that. I'll just try and scoop it this way without my thumb getting in the way. This is very difficult. Right. I think that failed. I think I've just dragged him along the side of the cell. Yeah, he's not there. That's him there, fortunately. Right, I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to try and do this without my camera on my phone because I'm just guffing this up. Right, I've got one. Haha! Brilliant. See there? I've got one right on the tip of the grafting tool. Now, what I'm going to have to do is push that into one of the cells over there. This is where it also can go wrong. Fortunately, this is a little bit easier because there's only one cell. So when you do it, lie it completely flat like that. See that? So now it's completely flat. It's the same orientation as I picked it up, and then that's when I'm starting to push the plunger. And there we go, it's out. So that is one cell grafted. Perfect. Now, what you need to do is, when you've grafted them, just put something over the top of them like that. Just try and keep the moisture in. This is a relatively damp cloth, because they need to keep them nice and humid for each one. So hopefully you can see how you can do it. It's very difficult to film and scoop at the same time. I've never really grafted looking through a camera before, so it's a bit daunting for me. Right, I'm going to take that as me doing it right for you guys. I'm just going to do the rest now on my own. Right, I've done all 10 now. I'm going to wrap these up in a tea towel that is slightly damp, and then hopefully that'll keep them safe. So I'm going to wrap them up like that, see? So this should be nice and warm. Any humidity that's in there should stay with them. I'm also going to travel with them facing upwards as well, just because it means that there's more of a chance of them staying still, because sometimes they can fall out, which is a nightmare. Right, so I'm going to go put that frame back in the hive and probably get stung to bits. Yay! Right, so I have this frame here. I'm going to put my hood up because it is gone very dark now. I'm just going to pop this in the top box, close them up as quick as I can. Do not want to get stung anymore. I was going to use my red light, but of course, on the day that I want to use it, I forget to bring it. Right, smoke these guys down as best you can. Right, get away. Come on guys, down you get. Clocks in. Just close them up. Right, that's these guys done. I don't have to worry about them swarming anytime soon, because I've messed with them too much. So, it's good. Flora can be left alone for probably a week now. As for splits, they can be left now for 3 weeks. So, yeah, splitting is quite useful for easing the load. So, as you may see, or you may not see, it's quite dark now. It's about 9:30. It's late. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use this. This is a red light torch. We can see in it, the camera can see in it, but the bees cannot. So, let's see how this works, eh? Right, so, you can see here, I've not got the grafts there. I've got the grafts on my inside pocket, or tucked with me, against me, so they stay nice and warm. I won't put them in there until I'm absolutely ready to put them in. Until then, they're staying inside my bee suits, so they're nice and warm. Now, I can't remember if it's this. Yeah. So I think it's the top box. So I'm actually going to take these out right now, because I need to zip my suit up, because I do not want to get stung. Again. Still wrapped up. I'm going to move them over here just to keep them safe. I'm going to take the lid off. And there's bees walking about on the crown board. That's fine. Just smoke them down, get rid of any alarm pheromones. So this is what we call beekeeping after dark. Try not to tap, because it'll alert them and they'll get panicky. As I said, they can't fly in the dark, so they will just get stressed and scared. It is the box below this one that I'm going to put the graft in. So what I'm going to do is, before I take this box off, I'm going to get graft ready. Well, I've just lost one graft on the floor, so that's fun. There's the grafts. Stick them in this special frame. Right, so I've got 9 grafts there. I'm just going to move them down here, lean them up so they're all facing upwards. I'm going to take this box off now. Oh, now you can see the gap between the frames. So either side there is brood and there is lots of pollen. So I'm going to be putting this in now. Slowly work it down. Now the bees can't see anything that's going on, so they're going investigating, kind of like, what's going on here? I can feel vibrations, but I can't see anything. So that's what we're doing now. If they find you, they'll crawl all over you because they're like, what the hell's going on? As you can see, they're all going to start flocking to that frame now because they've found some larvae that they can turn into a queen. They already found it, and they'll start moving down any second now. There you are, starting to move down along here now. There you are. So I'm going to smoke them just away from the edges so I can put this box back on top. And then I'll leave them to it. There we go. We don't want anyone to get squished, really. Right, put this box on and then I'm done for the night, hopefully. There we go. Crown board on. And we're done. So there we have it, a full-on day of beekeeping. It is now pitch black outside, and yeah, I'm gonna go home to bed. It's 10 o'clock. What a night. So we managed to graft those cells, only 10, but I just wanted to make sure that I've got my skills in check before I start moving on to doing 30 or something, because there's nothing worse than grafting 30 of them, putting them in, coming back after a few days and realising you've got like 2 that are alright. So I just want to get my eye in before I start doing proper batches. I genuinely have no idea what I'm going to be doing for my short form this one. So I may not even do a short form just because the whole process of grafting is intricate, and yeah, it's just, there's a lot to it, but you do get the best queens from it. If you enjoyed today's video, then please hit the like button. If you've really enjoyed it, then hit subscribe button. Maybe look through what I've been doing for the past few weeks and see how I've got to this stage. That'd be good. There's also fact checks and all sorts. There's stuff for everybody, so go and have a nosy, see what I've got. Thank you so much for watching these videos. It means the absolute world to me. If you have any questions whatsoever about anything you've seen today, any critiques, which I'm guessing there's going to be a few, any advice, anything at all, please send them my way. Every day's a learning day when it comes to beekeeping. I have a certain amount of experience, I've experimented and stuff like that, but there's other people out there that have had other experiences. Maybe you've just been doing it for a year, but you've seen something I've done, you've already figured out a better way of doing it. Let me know. The whole point of beekeeping is that there are thousands of different ways of doing a single thing. It's down to you to find what works best for you. So checkerboarding, that works best for me, but some people just prefer to demarrer. You've got people who like to do splits, some people who like to graft their queens. There's loads of different methods of doing absolutely anything. Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean it's right. Just because some other person's doing something doesn't mean that that's right. There's loads of experts online. I'm just a numpty that's been doing this for a few years and made a business out of it. That's it. I'm not saying I'm an expert at all. Thank you again, and I really hope I get to see you guys next week. Have a good day. Bye-bye.